probably October of 2019. I was having severe mood swings. My menstrual cycles were atrocious. I mean, I'm talking like waking up in the middle of the night and looking like somebody murdered you in your bed. And my husband saying, "Is this normal? Are you okay?" I think what tipped me over the edge more than anything was I was getting serious cystic acne. I'm talking like on my neck, right through here. As someone who sells skincare, how am I supposed to tell people that this stuff is the best if I can't even fix my own skincare issue? Acne sucks, right? I went through high school without acne, and then I got into my 20s, and then it started, and I was just like, how did I go through high school without any skin problems? And started having kids, and my skin would go back and forth. And then I found a certain skincare that I loved, and so that's when I started selling it, and my skin was awesome. And I was going from, having a baby to breastfeeding for a year plus, and then getting pregnant again, and then having a baby, and it totaled 4 pregnancies, 4 births, and my skin going back and forth. And so I just assumed that once I was done with the babies that my skin would even out, and then I wouldn't have to deal with this back and forth. I was so wrong. And August, we went on a trip with some friends, and I had this breakout, like deep cystic acne, and 2 days before we were going on this camping trip. And so I already knew that my skincare regimen wasn't going to be the best anyway. And I remember we got there, and we're setting up camp, and I was mortified. I was so embarrassed about my skin, and I couldn't hide it. And I remember sitting in the car crying to my husband because I'm like, I don't understand what is happening, why my skin is doing this. Shamefully, I avoided all of our friends. Finally, our friend walks up to me and he says, "Hey, are you okay?" And averting my face so that he didn't get a direct shot, I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just, trying to get everything ready and just really busy over here." And he's like, "Okay, just wanted to make sure." And then he walked away, and I sat down and I cried. And I remember saying to myself, over and over again, "You are more than your skin. You are more than your skin. You are more than the way that you were feeling." Like, I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm done. I'm going to a dermatologist, and I'm gonna get this fixed. And I went in, super nice office, super nice people, and it was straight to, "Well, we have 2 options for you. Both are hormonal. We can do a spironolactone, or we can do Accutane, and we highly suggest that you do Accutane." And I did not want to do Accutane. I knew going into that office that that's what they were going to tell me, but I was so desperate that I was considering it. I filled out the paperwork. I went through all the steps that they wanted me to go through. And so many people that have gone through it and it didn't work, or this or that, and I was just very much against it. But at the same time, I was very desperate. I had some time to come home and think about it and talk to my husband, and I was tired and so grumpy, and I would be drinking 40 ounces of soda from Swig a day plus pre-workout. 2 o'clock hits, and I'm like dying. Like, I'm so tired all the time. And I have this saying that I always think about, and that's, when my kids think of me, I don't want them to think of me as scary mommy. I want them to think of me as loving mommy. And they were getting scary mommy. And every night I would go to bed and I'd think, okay, I'm gonna do better. Tomorrow will be better. I've got this. And halfway through the day, I'm scary mommy, and I'm just like, why? Like, this is heart-wrenching, and there's nothing worse than seeing that look on your kid's face when they're like, who are you and what did you do with my mom? And knowing that you just feel crazy and out of control. Other moms talk about it like, this is motherhood, this is life, this is normal. And in the back of my head, I'm like, no, this is not normal. I'm doing all the things that I think I should be doing. My spirituality could always use improvement, but at the time, I felt like I was doing everything that I needed to. Besides soda, I eat really well. Every now and then, I'll have a little treat, and so I was doing that right. And then I was doing exercise. I was finding ways to fill my cup. So why am I feeling this way? In the back of my head, I'm like, this is not normal. I know this is not normal, and this is not life. And if you're gonna tell me that this is life, that this is normal, I'm gonna call BS, because this does not feel normal. This is not how I see my life going at all. And then the cystic acne was my breaking point. And I just knew that something was wrong. This was my body's way of telling me and showing me. And I remember praying to Heavenly Father to help me figure out what I needed to do. And then Freedom Healthcare popped into my life. Literally, I had been praying about it 2 days before, and they were the answer. I got my blood work done, and then I sat down with him 2 weeks later in a 2.5-hour office visit, and he took that time to validate me and tell me that I wasn't crazy. I walked out of that office with so much pep in my step and feeling like finally there was an answer, and that I was not gonna have to live like this anymore, and that I didn't have to live like this, and that this was not life. Found out that I was anemic, which I was pretty sure that I was. I was anemic. My body wasn't making enough testosterone. I had super high estrogen, which explains a lot of the skin issues I was having, as well as the mood swings. And then my awful period. And so I needed more progesterone, and my thyroid was underproducing. I was deficient in vitamin B and vitamin D. I needed a enzyme called CoQ10 about 2.5 months into my bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and I feel like a new person. I'm so grateful. I don't yell at my kids, you guys. I don't yell at my kids about the silliest things. The acne was really hard for me. But what was harder was feeling so out of control and feeling like I couldn't control my temper with my children. I'm so grateful to Dr. Nilsson and Freedom Healthcare for helping put the pep back in my step and validating me and telling me that and showing me that there's hope, and that I didn't have to continue to live the way that I was living. If I went back to my regular MD with the symptoms that I was having, I would have been put on anxiety and depression meds. It would have just masked what was actually going on inside. I look at my mom friends who are exhibiting the same symptoms, and I look at, people that I see on social media that are complaining of the same symptoms, and it makes me so sad to think that there are so many out there that were feeling the way that I was feeling. And so every chance I get, I shout it from the rooftops. Go to Dr. Nilsson and Freedom Healthcare. Go see a bioidentical hormone replacement doctor. Your life will be changed. I cannot stress that enough. And every time I think about it, I get so emotional because it literally has changed my life. It was an answer to my prayers. And I cannot express my gratitude. So please, please, if you are feeling this way, if something just feels off, please go see a specialist. Please take my word for it and know that this is not life. This is not how it's supposed to be, and you don't have to continue to feel this way.